Welcome back, everyone, to the morning after. I am online with someone. We are going to have a lot to connect on, so I'm excited. She's a Southern girl. She's a podcaster, fertility awareness advocate, and someone, honestly, who just keeps it real. So Becca Tobin is joining us today.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Yes, welcome. I don't know if they told you about this, but at the beginning of all of our episodes, we start with an It's a Lot segment. So what's a lot for you right now?
Summer with children. It is like nothing I've experienced. My son is only 3.5. And like the quote school he goes to is a glorified expensive daycare, but still it means that he's out of my house every day. And then he comes home to normally a nanny. My husband and I both work. I travel a lot. So we have so much support at home in Austin, but we do this stupid thing every July where we come to Atlanta where both of our families are living, and we like post up here. We take trips, to and from, but we're really like in Atlanta, and God bless the boomer parents.
They want no part?
I mean, they're very helpful, but it's not the same where my parents used to just drop me at my grandparents' house, me and my sister, and leave for weeks at a time. And we just would just like chill with my grandparents.
When I was growing up, I was always with my grandmother, Winnie. But now I feel my parents are like, we're busy. We have friends. We have things to do. And I'm like, who's going to watch my children? Like, what do you mean?
My dad is at Pilates right now.
I kind of love that.
I swear.
He's getting his back right so he can help take care,
I mean,
what's your son's name?
Ford.
Okay. I'm obsessed with the name Ford for a boy. And I had mentioned to Matthew, I was like, listen, if we have a boy, can we name him Ford Stafford? And he was like, absolutely fucking not. But I do. I've always loved that name. I feel like it's like a strong, I don't know, it's just a really good name. But maybe your dad is getting, stretched out so he can be in the pool with Ford later or something.
I mean, they do their best. But the problem is actually it's all my fault for having children this late. Like my son was born when I'm about to be 40, so my late 30s. And I mean, it's my fault. It's my own fault. My parents had kids at like 21. So my grandparents were young, they were sprightly, like they could hang, but and we're only on baby number 1. I don't even know what's going to happen with baby number 2. I might bring on like a sister wife just to be absolutely supported in this.
I talked about sister wives with my sister because we were like, it sounds kind of nice. It doesn't sound horrible.
Sounds great.
Yeah. But I'm with you with the grandparents. And my dad always told me, he was like, listen, he wasn't trying to force me to have kids, but he was like, I'm going to be old. Like, so selfishly for J-pop scenario, like you need to have kids now.
Yeah.
Which now I understand because, that's what happens. People get old and they're less helpful. And you're sitting in this, I was mentioning this beautiful room, and this is at your parents' house, which is in Atlanta, correct?
Correct, yes.
And that is where you grew up.
It is where I grew up. I grew up in Marietta. And my husband actually grew up outside of Atlanta, but like a more rural Noonan, Georgia, which is
okay.
Yeah, he wore like Wranglers and had like a cowboy hat holder in his truck, which is super embarrassing.
I mean, I find that super hot. I don't know. I mean,
I did too.
Yeah, I'm in like the cowboy phase for some reason. I don't know why. So you grew up in Marietta. You didn't cheer, did you?
I did. I cheered in elementary school because I did a lot of gymnastics as like a young girl, and then I did like 7th grade cheerleading. And actually, speaking of my dad, he's actually great. This is a horrible story on his part, but he hated so much the whole like cheerleading pageants. Like he grew up in Miami. He's Jewish. Like this whole world is so weird to him. Everything, like most things Atlanta. So he just really wanted my sister and I to do things that weren't those. But of course, we were like a moth to a flame. I begged to do beauty pageants. He's like, absolutely not. And then I was like, fine, I'll cheer. So then 7th grade cheerleading, we're in the basketball court in the gym, and we're cheering and whatever. And I started getting heckled by some like 7th grade boys in the stands, and I flicked them the bird. And my dad walked over to the cheer mom and he goes, I just want you to know that Becca did just flick the bird at some people in the stands. I don't know how many demerits that is, but I bet you it's a lot. He got me kicked off. Like,
no.
Yes.
Oh, you're done?
I mean, I'd already behaved pretty badly on the cheerleading squad as it was, but he ratted me out. He didn't want me to be a cheerleader that badly. I mean, my mom didn't speak to him for weeks.
Oh my gosh. Wait, in 7th grade, what else were you doing that got you kicked off the cheerleading team?
So many things. It's the South. So some of these moms, I always had a real problem with the moms that got too involved and like lived vicariously through their daughters. My mom worked full time my whole childhood. So she didn't have time
Yeah.
to fight for me to be like the fly at the competition. But there were women. This woman, I mean, I wish I could say her name, but I'm sure I would get back to her. But she was so crazy. And I would always compete with her daughter, Mallory, as like the flyer or whatever, because we're two like very short people. And she started to really manipulate and meddle. So I just started having like a really bad attitude, a really shitty attitude. And I like wouldn't show up to practices. I just was like, I hated, I really rebelled against that whole like cheer mom thing.
Well,
So
honestly,
it was never meant to be.
Yeah, honestly, the cheer moms should have seen their way out because it's really aggressive and very, very obnoxious. And actually, the only reason I asked if you cheered was because Marietta, the one memory I have is the Georgia All-Stars competitive cheer team is out of Marietta. If
You're
that's
right.
correct. Yeah. So I was like, oh, maybe she cheered. I mean, I had friends that would drive an hour and a half to practice there and back just to be on this competitive cheerleading team. It was a little cultish, as it is now. The whole world, sports, youth sports, we could talk all day about that. And God bless you, you have a son. I can't relate, but I can only imagine what that's going to be like with him growing up. Because I have daughters who love sports, and I want them to love it, and I like the team aspect, learning to be on a team. But they're girls, so at the end of the day, probably
it's different.
Yeah, it's different. You know what I mean?
We're also in Texas, which like Texas youth sports is a thing that I have no doubt once my son starts. I mean, I am pushing like tap dancing harder than I've ever pushed anything before, but I think it's going to not work out for me. But the way that when I've gone to friends' kids' games and stuff, like I listen to these parents screaming and the intensity of 8-year-old youth sports, I have a very hard time not turning around and just being like, they're 8.
Yeah.
This makes you the world's biggest loser. Like, I don't know how you can sleep at night knowing that this is your behavior in front of public people.
It's well, I'll tell you something, and I've mentioned it multiple times on my podcast. I have my 4 daughters play on one soccer team together, and my oldest are 8. I have 2 8-year-olds, and then almost 7 and a 5. And there's only 5 players on the field at one time, so. Half the time, 4 of them are mine. Yeah. And I've told Kiara, I'm like, defense, turn around, defense. But I'm constantly yelling because one of mine has the ball or something. Right. I'm like, and I told them, I was like, I can't wait till they know what to do.
Yeah.
They're in a world, like they understand the game to where you can just not try to, because these coaches, sweet coaches that are volunteering, also assholes who get on the coaches that are literally there just volunteering their time. These coaches aren't getting paid shit. They're dealing with your snot-nosed child. Like, just relax. But I feel like I'm trying to like teach them this sport. So sometimes I go home and I'm like, oh my God, I was really loud and obnoxious today. And my husband, I will give it to it. Like when he's able to come, he'll be like, knock it off. Knock it off. And I'm like, okay, And then at one point I'll just catch his hand and be like, stop fucking hitting me. But
I mean, it's always the dads who actually are and were professional athletes that are the chillest at those games. And I'm like, could all these men take note? Like, don't you realize that the only person here who has a leg to stand on is keeping their mouth shut? It's crazy.
Yeah. And I think it's because they get it. They're like, turns out, probably not going to make the pros.
None of these kids.
None of y'all. So
Not a
like,
one.
why am I going to yell about it? Like, let's just be, I mean, Matthew is very, very quiet at games. He just sits and watches the girls and cheers them on, and he's what I wish I could be. But
yeah, it's got to be one of you, I guess.
Sometimes, I mean, like, again, it's not like I'm yelling negative things. I'm just like, all right, you got to turn around. You're guarding that goal. Like this goal over here.
I'm nervous for this. I don't know a thing about soccer. If my son plays, I won't even know what to yell. So it's probably a good thing.
You know what? It's a great sport for when they're little because all they do, none of them know what they're doing. They just run up and
Perfect.
down the field. I mean, my girls are 8 and have played it for 3 years, and still I'm like, it's called defense. Like, you block the ball from going in the goal.
I can't believe you have 4 daughters or 4 children really at all. Like, I just don't you're a marvel to me.
Well,
And
I'll tell you something. I think having one's harder.
do you
I
really?
do.
I don't know if you're I don't know. This has to be some form of amnesia that you get, like
I mean, I would say there's a lot of chaos in my
yeah,
everyday life, and there's not a day that everyone wakes up in a good mood. There's always one
right.
that's struggling. If it's me, not me, it's one of them. But they can play with each other. They have each other. I am not entertaining them at all.
Yeah.
They entertain
Yeah.
themselves, and it's been, I mean, I started with 2, so
Yeah.
I've never had one, but I see my friends who have one child, and they are just they need their parents, they want them to play, they want their attention, and I don't have that bandwidth. So, like, I'm so glad that my daughters have each other because they can entertain each other. You know what
No,
I mean?
that definitely makes sense, and, like, as my son is getting older and it's less when they're really tiny, it's a lot of, like, parallel play, so they're not even interacting, so you're still having to entertain them. It was, like, really this summer where I was watching my kid, like, in the Bahamas just, like, make his own sandcastle and, like, need me, and I'm like, "This is sad." Like,
Yeah.
this is fucking sad.
Yeah, a friend is nice, like, and it doesn't have to always be you.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's no singletons in my entire family, so we're, like, the
Yeah,
first people, and, like, we're not necessarily done, but it's the further out that we get, though, the harder it is to think about doing it again, like,
right.
and also the age difference is gonna be so big, and I don't know, I'm like, will they even hang out at that point? Like, my son will be, like, over 4, maybe 5. I don't know. I started way too late. I will say I started way too late because it's just been a ride.
Yeah. Well, I don't want you to say that. I don't think you started late. I think you started at the time that worked for you.
True, yeah.
And I know you went through some struggles to get to that point, and if you're okay talking about it, I went through IVF as well for
Mhm.
my first 2, and that process, I feel like you don't understand it unless you go through it. Are you comfortable talking about that a
Yeah.
little bit?
Oh,
So,
yeah.
yeah, okay. So you had your son via surrogacy, and you guys were trying for how long?
5 years.
That's a long
Yeah.
fucking time.
Yeah.
See, I don't think that was like, it's not
Yeah.
your fault that it happened so late. Like, God throws things at you. I think that, okay, so
Yeah.
5 years.
About 5 years. And I had pregnancies in there, they just didn't obviously make it to the finish line, and yeah, it was just this sort of thing where I never anticipated having any struggles. My mom and my sister both got pregnant, like, looking at their husbands, like, for the first time naked. It was really wild how easy my sister had her pregnancies and her 2 kids and my mom with the 2 of us. Like, it was such a weird thing in my family. All the women were just fertile and, all the things. And I did start later than any other woman in my family. So it really is kind of a combination of a lot of things. But my most recent miscarriage, I was in my OBGYN's office in LA. And I think at this point I was, I don't know, mid-30s.
Mhm.
And I'd already been through the ringer for several years. She was like, I'm gonna say something and take it or leave it or whatever. She's like, "You could keep going. Like, you can keep going. You're getting pregnant, right?"
Yeah.
She's like, "But if you have the means to do this and, you're mid-30s and you might want more than 1 kid," she's like, "Just go make some embryos. Just go make some healthy embryos because I think at this point you're having issues with the health of your eggs." And so I went and I did it. It was the best advice that I ever received because I probably would have just continued to go because I didn't really realize that you could be a candidate for IVF and not necessarily be because you couldn't ever get pregnant
Right.
naturally.
Yeah, right. Mhm.
And so I went through the process and then obviously like we hit some more bumps in the road with the transfers of the embryos and I only made a couple healthy embryos and after my first transfer was canceled like 3 days into my progesterone, we just went back to the drawing board and I was like, I'm done. Like, I think I'm just done. I don't think I can do more to my body than I've already done emotionally, physically, whatever.
Mhm.
And then I ran into a friend of mine who I like grew up dancing with on Broadway and he in his past life and now he owns a surrogacy agency. And we like reconnected out of nowhere at a friend's like charity event and we bumped into each other and we're catching up with each other and he was like, how's it going? And he told me what he was doing for a living. And this company they started, it's called Elevate. It's amazing. He and his husband started it. He just was like, why don't you look into surrogacy? Like, this is what it's for. This is for
Yeah.
to help families get their baby here that otherwise maybe couldn't, or it would take forever or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I luckily had a goddaughter who was born via surrogacy a couple years before that. So I saw the beautiful exchange and the experience that they had. So I didn't have reservations with that. I just was kind of like, okay, this is just not what I saw in my future at all. Not that
Right.
I loved being pregnant by any means when I was pregnant,
Mm.
but I had to sort of just accept that this was just how we were going to get my kid here. And I'm glad we did it that way, because like I
Yeah.
look at my son and I'm like, so you that little embryo that I was thinking about maybe risking it one more time for, maybe wouldn't have gotten here had we not gone the surrogacy route. And I can't imagine life without him specifically. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, like, it is IVF for all it entails. It's not easy to go
Mm.
through. The hormones suck.
Suck.
But like, is it worth it? 1000% it's worth it. Like, you look
Yeah.
at the little ones running around you and you're like, yeah, this is why I did it. And I do love the thought of, and I know freezing eggs has become more popular in the generation under us, and just getting those embryos. I
Mhm.
think if you're at a stage in life where you can freeze your eggs, and you might have a career and things going on, but I do think it's important just to like keep it in mind, because it
Yeah.
does get hard, and we've been putting shit in our bodies for God knows how long. It's like, we talk about our parents, love them so much, but I ate
Toaster
yeah,
strudels.
I ate fucking Fruit Loops for every meal, and fruit roll-ups for every snack. So like,
Gushers. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, God bless whatever I ingested. I mean, it's gonna create issues when you're older. It will, and it is what it is. But I love science, and the fact that they've like kind of come up with have come up with something to make it doable
Yeah.
for people. And I know it's not cheap. It's a wildly expensive process, but right now too, there's charities out there that do this. So if you're
Yeah.
looking for, and you can't get pregnant and you don't have the financial means to do it, I suggest you start looking into those charities. We know one is Brie Laura, but I think it's such a beautiful process, and for some reason it got shit on like the past couple of years, which pissed
Yeah.
me off, because all these people are like, well, if God wanted you to have a baby,
Oh
you
yeah.
would have
Oh
had a
yeah.
baby. And I'm like, fuck you, bitch. God created IVF too, for the people like
Exactly.
me. So fuck off. And
Yeah.
he created science. So if you want to go that route, but no, I mean, I love talking about it, because I think it opens up the field for women to actually start talking about their fertility journeys and open the eyes to the younger generation coming up. All right, maybe I need to be proactive, but also, like, if you're going through it, you don't feel so lonely. Because I mean, I felt really alone. I didn't talk about it when I was going through it. I don't know if you did, and I look back and wish I had. So
Yeah, I did my egg retrieval during the pandemic, like the middle of the pandemic, like literally hadn't seen a soul, hadn't talked to anybody, which was kind of a blessing, but also had moments where I was like, oh, I wish I was connecting a little bit more with my girlfriends. And um, it was a bizarre period of my life that it's a little surreal. Like I have videos of myself, because I did document a lot of it that I later put out, because I'm the type of person where I'll go through all the stuff in private and then I'll verbal diarrhea later, like once
yeah,
I'm out of the woods.
yeah,
Because I
I get
also
it.
don't like unsolicited advice. I don't know how you are, but
I get
that
it.
was truly the and everybody's intentions were usually really great. And we have this community from the Lady Gang podcast. It's been 10 years we've had this. And so a lot of these women who listen we've all grown up together. We're all
Love
like
that.
getting pregnant at the same time, getting married, whatever. Um, and a lot of them were wonderful and supportive, but I'm so glad that I didn't put it out until afterward, because just the amount of you're so raw when you're going through the process,
Mhm.
and you have to be so protective of your like energy field, and sounds woo woo, but I think it makes a big difference also in like how relaxed you are and how
For
optimistic you are,
sure.
positive. And
Yeah.
So yeah, and that was the same thing with like my son being born. I was one of those people that nobody knew what was going on until it was like, he's here, you know?
What a great surprise for everybody. They're like,
It
whoa.
was shocking for like good friends of ours. They're like, okay, well,
Yeah.
this would have been nice. I'm like, I just didn't feel the need, It was like, I don't have to hide anything. Like, we're just going about our business. I'm superstitious. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, but it's a very odd thing. I'm so glad that even since, 5 years ago when I went through it, even now there's so much more conversation around it,
Mm.
and especially surrogacy. That I'm so happy that that's sort of coming. There's like a little less shame involved, I think, when women do have to turn to surrogacy. There's still a lot of haters out there for sure about
Yeah.
it, like you're saying, but I mean, it's an easy thing for me to block out. I'm like, well, I have a great kid, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
I have a beautiful blessing sitting right next to me that sometimes during the summer he's really tough, but every other time he's great.
Gives me the world's worst cold and
Yeah.
exhausts me and makes me build sandcastles for hours on end.
Yeah, we were
Yeah,
supposed to ask you all the hard-hitting questions at the beginning with the Sudafed. Damn.
I
Let us
know.
down
Well,
now.
I'm still on it,
Yeah, okay, well, great. If you've ever been in the market for a new home, you know home shopping can be a lot. There's so much you don't know and so much you need to know. What are the neighborhoods like? What are the schools like? Who is the agent who knows the listing or the neighborhood best? And why can't all this information just be in one place? Well, now it is on homes.com. They've got everything you need to know about the listing itself, but even better, they've got comprehensive neighborhood guides and detailed reports about local schools. And their agent directory helps you see the agent's current listings and sales history. Homes.com collaboration tools make it easier than ever to share all this information with your family. It's a whole cul-de-sac of home shopping information all at your fingertips. Homes.com, we've done your homework. There was something you said that I've always believed that I just wanted to point out. And it was something like I think your mother or someone was asking about inducing your milk for lactation.
Yeah.
And you came out and said, and don't let me put words in your mouth, but this is what the article, and I listen, I don't usually read articles because I hate headlines and hate everything about media right now. But I read it and it was like, turns out whatever is kind of best for me, the mom, is what's best for the child.
Yeah.
And that resonated so much with me because I got to my third and fourth child. And when I was deciding between formula, breastfeeding, pumping with my fourth, I went straight fucking formula because I was so done. I was exhausted. I would have rather parented my three than sit strapped to a pump. And my mental health wasn't great. And as like every time I felt like I would put her near my boob, I would get anxiety and she wouldn't eat.
Yeah.
So it was like
Yeah.
everyone hated it. It wasn't good for anybody. Honestly, it resonated with me because I feel like sometimes we do everything for our children and forget like we have to be okay.
For sure. I am such a proponent, and I think that I got a little cheat for it because I understand why first-time moms or any moms that carry their children feel this immense pressure to breastfeed. I know it's literally everywhere we look. I know we're doing a lot to destigmatize all of the other ways to do it, but really truthfully, it's going to be around for a long time, maybe forever, with people who have strong opinions on how selfish you might be if you don't try or do the breastfeeding route. I felt really fortunate because I've seen so many friends and family members, my sister being one of them, that in hindsight, they struggled through a really hard time with the breastfeeding. I mean, one of my best friends had I forget it's a name for it, but when your milk starts to come down a depressive like state, you enter a depressive state.
Oh, wow.
And it's a thing, it's relatively common. And yet she pushed through and for almost a year was like hitting these dips in her mental health because of the pressure. And I just feel like I understand why women do it. The hormones surging through your body are crazy. It's wild. But I think the most unfair thing that does happen in that is the guilt that we feel, and we override our suffering and our own panic and anxiety and depression to serve this thing that we think we're supposed to be serving in the way we're supposed to be serving it. So I didn't have those hormones racing through my body, and for better or worse, but it did allow me the clarity to be like, that's not something I want to do.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to do that. I feel really confident and I'm not feeling emotional about it. I'm just simply, I know that I can bond with my child. Plenty of people adopt babies, have surrogates, all
Mhm.
the things that don't actually give them the natural ability to breastfeed, and they are bonded with those children. It's a choice. Like it's really, I mean, I had to do other things. Like I definitely had to be cognizant of the time I spent holding my baby because I had to compensate for the time that I maybe would have been doing skin to skin feeding him. So I was really just aware of the fact that I needed to do that. I wanted to do it, but not that I want to be detached and like throw my baby off to a nanny the day he's born and be like, see you later. I didn't have to carry him or recover. But yeah, I hate so much that happens. Like even my best friend just had a baby. And before she had this baby that she put her body through like 10 years of fertility hell for,
Mm.
she's like, whatever you do, like whatever I do, don't let me like force myself to breastfeed. If it's not working for me, please look at me and shake me and say, remind me of this moment. Like, I don't want to suffer anymore if I don't need to, blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
She's breastfeeding and hating it. And I can't tell her. Like,
Oh,
it's
you
like,
can't tell her.
this is her journey and this is what she wants to do in this moment. But I'm like so angry with whoever came up with this whole like
Uh,
bullshit. I'm
yeah.
like, this is just, it's hard enough being a mom,
It's
period.
your whole life.
Period.
You have to you mourn your past life because that life is no longer existing anymore. I mean, your
Yeah.
life is that child. Meaning, like, all of your decisions now, they have to be a part of that decision making.
Yeah.
When selfish, like before, we were all selfish. We were like, fuck yeah, I'll do that, I'll do this,
Yeah.
whatever. But children really do. They take over. So
They do. They
yes.
sure do.
Now you said you're in Atlanta,
Uh-huh.
and your husband's family is all because your husband's from outside of Atlanta.
Yep.
Is your husband's family in the city now too, or
No, they're still kind of where he grew up, which is about 45 minutes to an hour.
that's a great distance? That's a
Yeah,
good
it's good. I
distance.
mean, we felt a lot of guilt during the pandemic when we moved from LA to Austin. We were like those people. And we felt a lot of guilt for being like, a lot of people are moving to Atlanta also. And like, we have a million reasons plus one to move to Atlanta. But I don't know, we weren't quite ready to like make the voyage completely home. So
Okay.
that's why in the summers we try to spend as much time with our families here as possible. And it's worked out. It's just, it's a lot. I mean,
Yeah. Well,
I am
are you staying in your parents' house? Do you stay there for
so
the month?
so my parents built a house a couple years ago and they built it to be this place that they wanted their grandkids to want to be. Like
That
there's
was
a
sweet.
bunk room. I'm in a movie theater. Like it's downstairs there's a batting cage for my nephew. It is it's really great. And it's plenty of space for our family and it is great. I'm like saying great a
No,
million
it's
times. Like,
okay.
do you believe me?
It's totally great. We absolutely
It's so
believe you.
great. It's so great. We love it. It's great. No, but really in all sincerity, we thought about, what would it look like to rent a house in Atlanta, blah, blah, blah. These are all such stupid champagne problems. But really, there's something as maddening as it is like spending an entire week, at a lake house with extended family. Like it's a rite of passage for my kid.
Yeah.
Like I might be sleeping on a really shitty bed and a gross mattress in a weird room, but like I have to remind myself that I can't be a princess about it. And this is memories that my kid is gonna have forever. It's the ones that I have, and I'm sure my parents were like really, struggling through those summers with their parents in their
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
So I
This
always have to check myself on that. I'm
I
like, just because we can do things a way that I like it better, but I'm an adult. Like, I don't need my one weird singleton to also be living like an adult too. Like, it's a hard balance.
I love it because it goes back to the sacrifices that we make,
There you go.
and the decisions are now based a lot on our children and like, okay, what's good for them? Like again, champagne problems, but I make decisions to do certain things with my kids so that they learn what the real world is. And like,
Yep.
turns out you can't just cut every line. Like,
Yeah.
the wait's 3 hours. You want to wait?
Yeah.
Or are we finding something else to do? But that is so, because it is interesting because living in LA now for me, I'm actually going back home tomorrow. But as a girl who grew up in the South, LA's really different. And Detroit was really different. Like everywhere is different, obviously. And there's a big pull of me wanting to go home. I mean, my sister's there with her kids. My kids love their cousins, and life is just a little slower there for me. But I also know my husband is not from there,
Mhm.
and my family can be a lot in the best
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
But we have, and I don't know if you're like this, like we have built our life in areas where we have nobody.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
to randomly all of a sudden go back to somewhere where we are surrounded by a family of 60 members and friends from my high school and college friends of ours, like it's almost too overwhelming to think about. So
Yeah.
do you think like you guys went, cuz you don't, are there any ties in Austin?
No, I mean, my husband lived there for a little while in his 20s, and we were just at the height of the pandemic, and our 2 best friends and then a bunch of other couples that were, like, acquaintances at that point, but everybody was sort of being drawn to Austin, and we just took one weekend, we got on a plane, and we're like, "Let's go check it out. Like, let's just go see what it's about." We were all kinda getting like stir crazy and just not loving LA anymore. Some of us had been there for so long. I still love it. It's still such a special city, but I was ready. We were all ready for the change. And we went to Austin and we did like a weekend there, and we all, like, every single person was like, "We love it. We love it." Like, and that doesn't really happen with a huge group
No.
of friends. And so it was a great choice. I mean, we live in a neighborhood now with like 3 other couples, and then 10 minutes down the road there's 3 other couples, and we all moved from California. And
Oh
so
wow.
we have like a village and a community that we didn't even have in LA. Like, it was really hard to build that kind of closeness cuz it's LA. It's a big
Yeah.
city, it's sprawling. And now, I mean, I don't know how long this will last. I think it's bittersweet, but some people have already made their way back to LA, and some people, but I love raising my kid where we are now. And I don't know, I never get like married to a city, like being an actor and just having to be like spending months in Vancouver and by myself. Like, I don't really get attached to places. So
Okay.
everyone's like, "Are you going to be there forever?" I'm like, I don't know, probably not.
Yeah.
So
So and your sister has kids or no?
my sister has 2 kids, but
Okay.
my sister's older, and she's also had kids younger, so her oldest is 13 and her youngest is,
Okay.
10, so it's a really big jump.
It is a big jump.
They're
Yeah.
cute together. They just, we all went to the Bahamas for my dad's 70th last week, and it was really cute to watch my nephew and my niece, because I actually felt a sense of calm thinking that if our son is gonna be an only child. I hate that term, but, like, what are the people calling them?
I a singleton? I don't know.
Like, singleton? Like, we're destigmatizing only children, like,
Yeah,
God
sorry.
forbid. If he's gonna be a singleton, I did have a lot of fear of, like, when my husband and I are gone, we're no longer here, or we're really old and a pain in his ass. I'm like, who are the people aside from a significant other maybe that are gonna, like, be in this world with him unconditionally? And watching, even though the age difference is big now,
Yeah.
I'm like, I actually could see a future where they are close. They stay close and he has them.
Yeah.
So I felt like a big sense of relief knowing that that is possible.
Yeah. I
Because
think
my husband has 2 older sisters whose kids are also much older. So it's like he's
okay.
really a lone ranger.
I honestly think that the gap might seem bigger while they're younger.
Yeah.
And then when they get to the ages when they're going to college and even like in their, early professional lives, like those gaps seem way smaller,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know? And I do think if you're talking about like when you're getting older and when you're gone and your husband's gone, like to have, someone that age gap's not going to matter, you
Yeah.
know? And also I always think about, I'm like, well, they have to have someone to talk shit about, like talk shit
Seriously.
about their parents with, like who they can talk shit with.
The
Like,
amount of pictures I've sent my sister this month from my parents' house is crazy. I'm like, who would I have sent these to if I didn't have a sibling? Like, what would I have done? Sent in my husband? He doesn't get it. He would have been like, cool. I don't know why this is funny. Like, the sibling relationship is so special, and it's so hard to think about, I mean, but I have a lot of only children friends, and a lot of, like, one
yeah.
of my business partner is. And I always like pull them. I'm like, "Well, did you want one? I'm so annoying." And they're like, "I didn't really miss it. Like I didn't, you don't know what
You
you
don't
don't
know.
have.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even as an adult, they're like, yeah, I guess sometimes I'm like, sure, I'd like this, but it's not the thing that like keeps me up at night or that I really regret my parents giving me. It's just, and they're also all very close with their parents
Yeah.
in a way that I have never been.
Yeah.
Like never, because
Yeah.
it was my sister.
I mean, I could imagine like my daughters saying that about me when they're older, like, yeah, we were never that close. We had each other. And that's
Yeah.
true. They spent most of the time together. I'm not
Yeah.
normally involved. But I think like, again, whatever you decide to choose is what is supposed to happen, you know?
Yeah.
Because I know the journey's not easy that you had to
Yeah.
go through. And it's not like you can just be like, all right, let's do this.
Yeah.
There's a lot more involved with it. So I think honestly, like whatever you decide to do is going to be what's right. And he's 3.5. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are tough years right now that you're in.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
I
those
mean,
are tough. And I don't even have boys, and that's when the boys are hard.
he is, yeah. And relatively speaking, I know that he's a pretty great, like well behaved. He's not like one of those super hyperactive kids that's jumping off the walls. Like God gives you what you can handle. And I'm like, I just don't think I could get up that much and like be that mobile. Like I don't have that energy. So he's pretty good. But even still, I'm like, wow, it's just never ending. It's a relentless day and it's fine. And there's moments of being like, oh my God, this was the cutest thing I've ever seen. Like my heart grew 100 sizes. And then like 15 minutes later, I'm screaming at him, trying to get him in a car seat. I'm like, what is this mind fuck of parenting? What are we doing?
Turns out that is motherhood in a nutshell.
It's so insane. It's insane.
It really is. I know I could talk kids all day because this is like my life. But I want to get a little bit into your Lady Gang podcast. Can you tell me about your co-host real quick? Just a quick little blurb.
Yes. So Kelty Knight, she's the host of E! News right now. We call her the childless wonder. She never wanted children, never had children. She and her husband have a fabulous life. She's very type A and like adorably insane, like a real special snowflake. Like I always say that if an actress were to play Kelty Knight in a TV show, the Emmys would just come like pouring in. She's such an interesting person. And then Jack Vanek is just like, she's the coolest girl ever. She was born cool. She was like a emo music scene groupie, like Penny Lane of emo music, and had a ton of followers on like MySpace. And she started a clothing line. So she was like a young entrepreneur. And we joined together 10 years ago, which is like really insane. I didn't know what a podcast was. I was
how
like,
did you guys get together? Like, what was the connection?
Kelty, in like our past lives, Kelty was a Radio City Rockette and I was a Broadway dancer. So we would always like compete against each other and audition against each other and just kind of were all in each other's orbit, but never good friends. And then we both kind of landed in LA at the same time, her for entertainment journalism. And then I was on Glee for a couple years. And so I would walk red carpets and then I would meet her at the red carpet and with her little microphone and we'd look at each other and be like, this is so weird. Like we were doing time steps like 5 years ago and trying to get like a job in the chorus of a Broadway show. So it was cool. Like, and then she and I kept meeting for lunches and she's so forward thinking. She's just, we call her an evil genius. And she was like, let's start a podcast. I was like, what is a podcast? I have no idea what a podcast is. She's like, trust me, it's the next big thing. And then she and Jack shared a mutual ex-boyfriend. And you know when you like stalk your current boyfriend's ex and then like the current girlfriend stalks like the ex and you get like obsessed in your 20s with that girl. So Kelty like became very obsessed with Jack. Jack was like a little cooler than that, but like they dated this guy. He was one of the band members of Panic at the Disco. So he was like this like skinny emo guy.
Oh my gosh, how funny.
So that was, and Jack, so when we started the podcast, Kelty was like, we're like, we need a third girl. You know, we just see this as 3. And Kelty's like, I know just the girl. And it's like she had been waiting for the opportunity to like have an excuse to contact Jack.
Her. Oh my gosh. Wow.
So yeah, it's 10 years later. And for our 10-year anniversary, we're doing the most insane thing ever, most unhinged thing ever, which you'll appreciate this as a Southerner. In September, we're going to 30A down in Florida, the Panhandle.
Oh, wow.
And we're throwing a 3-day podcast comedy music festival. It's called Lady World. It's
Let's go.
Like, you know, we just felt like as adult women, it's so hard to get away and to have like friend time. And it's sort of like a summer camp thing. There's all these like activities during the day that you can participate in, or you can be like, fuck it, I want to be on the beach. But
oh my God, how fun.
Yeah, it's fun. And, you know, on the afternoons you go and you watch a podcast. Hannah Berner is doing, she's one of our headliners, Stassi Schroeder, and then a bunch of other
Yeah.
podcasters. And then every night we round it out with like one night is Pop 2K. Have you heard of this phenomenon?
Yeah, the Pop 2K phenomenon. Wait, you're not being serious, are you?
They call themselves Pop 2K, and it's a
Oh.
bunch of boy banders. So there's like Chris Kirkpatrick from NSYNC and Ryan Cabrera and Mark McGrath and BB Mac,
BB
LFO.
Mac?
Yes.
Holy
So they
shit.
all come together and they play the music of all of each other's music, and it's like a 2000s wet dream. So it's a bunch of millennial women that are just going to be like crying looking at Mark McGrath, who yes still has tips, frosted tips.
Oh, okay. We got to get it out of that
join us,
situation.
come on down.
Yeah. Wait, what are the dates? Tell everyone the dates.
September 25th through 27th.
Okay.
Miramar Beach is like the actual part, but it's the most beautiful. I mean, that part of Florida is just like weirdly clear waters and white sand, and it's really just like a jewel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there certain hotels that you're recommending people stay in, or is it? Yeah.
So if you book so it's ladyworld.co, and you can go and book your ticket, and it gives you the option of like selecting accommodation while you're at it. And it's like really good prices for that. But you can also just get your ticket, and Seascape is this big kind of resort, high-rise condo, like commune area. So that's like the general area. But what I love too is the partners that we're doing this with. It's called Topeka. And you can like text them and be like, hey, where should I stay? Can you hook me up? And they're really like a very high touch point, like travel, booking,
wow.
all the things. Cause we were like, our girls need hand holding because we have too many things going on in our lives. We don't need to be like searching Airbnb for places to stay.
Wait,
so they're like, we've got you.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, September 25th through the 27th. Get your tickets.
Yeah.
I mean, I might fly my ass down there.
Come on down. One of the night,
night,
the Pop 2K night, everybody is supposed to be wearing their best 2000s outfits. So I have just sourced the chunky Steve Madden flip-flops.
Oh my God.
Do you remember those?
Yes, stop.
I loved them like with a love I can't describe. And, we're going to be in like juicy couture jumpsuits and the
multiple
whole thing.
tanks. The multiple tanks.
Oh my gosh, the multiple tanks and like
belt.
the glitter eyeshadow, the like icy blue eyeliner. It's just going to be such a dream.
And honestly, if you didn't grow up during that time, you should still go because you will have the best time. Because there's nothing better. There's nothing better than that time in life. Like it was, I mean, the outfits could have been a little better, but
yeah. Or could they? You know what I mean?
I know. It's kind of like they're coming back in. I'm like, well,
they're back.
They will be back. Fashion does that,
Yeah.
All right. This is something that honestly, I was listening to your podcast about the iPads at the table, and your co-hosts were commenting,
Yes.
and I have a question. Is there any time, because neither of them have kids, right?
No.
Okay. Is there any time where you're like, you don't fucking get it?
Okay, so I try so hard. I think there's nothing worse than like a smug mom.
Agreed.
Like, because I went so long. I mean, I know I'm like harping on this. I'm only like 39, but still, I went so long as being the only person in my friend group without kids, and it would annoy the fuck out of me. Where I'd be like, just a casual conversation, and they'd be like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "I'm just like, I'm a little tired. I've been like." Flying back and forth a lot and blah, blah, blah. And they'll be like, oh my God, you have no idea. Wait till you have kids. Like, it's like that. So I try so hard, but I will say there are times that, just the perspective of like what's really important.
Mm-hmm.
I now feel really grateful that having kids, and this is also so annoying. Feel free to hate me, but when Kelty is spiraling about something that it does matter. We're a business, and things matter, and we work our asses off, and we don't want to we want things to work out. But at the end of the day, I get to shut my computer or fly home or do the thing, and then you walk in the door, and it's just the quickest. Like slingshot back into
reset.
To me. Yeah, it's a reset and show. And for me, what's the most important thing in my life. So, I have a lot of patience when either one of them is complaining about being stressed or tired or whatever. I'm like, I did that for years. And I think, you know, it's a different kind of tired. Like, I was still fucking tired.
Yeah,
Like,
you can absolutely be all of those things and not have
yeah.
children.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
also, like, the stress of my career at that time, my career was really important to me. And, you know, I did lose sleep over things. And it's not to say that those were less important things than me losing sleep now over my kid who like refuses to poop in a toilet, which we could circle back to that if you have any advice for me. But, you know, it's like different kinds of stress. It's different things.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But I do have like a very quick reset that they don't have yet.
Yeah.
Or Jack doesn't have yet.
And you know what? I will say that is something that is huge with my husband. Before children, if he would have a bad game or anything like that, he would come home, worst mood, put himself in the bedroom, not like we'd have family in town. He's like, locks himself in the bedroom, like, great, thanks.
Yeah.
And ever since we had our daughters, he comes home, he could throw 9 interceptions. He would come home and they don't know. They don't fucking care. That's their dad. And like they snap him out of any high or low, honestly. Like he comes in on a high. They're like, hey, daddy, I pooped in the toilet. As you were saying, he's like, great. Did you flush?
I felt like the king of the world and now I have to wipe your ass.
Yeah. And I will say, like, obviously anyone without kids can feel all tired and all this stuff. And to your point, if you're a mom, and this is where we have to draw the line, I think. If you're a mom and there's people out there talking to you that don't have kids and you want to say, well, guess what? When you have a child, it's going to be way harder. Just don't fucking say it.
Don't say it.
Go home and tell your husband that shit. Like,
also,
they don't want to hear it. Yes.
They know. Women are complaining all over social media about how hard it is to be a mom these days. Like, it is no longer in the shadows of the world. Like, we're loud and proud bitching and moaning to the point where women have not had kids. They're like, we're not even fucking doing it. You don't have to tell us how crazy it is. We're not doing it. Thank you so much.
Because of you guys, we fucking said no. You say mom's the hardest job in the world. I thought my job was already hard, so I'm fucking not doing it. Like, I'm done. Like,
no, I'm like, spend a day with my kid, and you know, not that they need to. They really get so much insight, and
I agree. Too much.
You know, I'm glad because now when people really enter into motherhood, like my partner Jack, she's like, I'm glad that I've watched you do this because I have I am fully aware. There's no illusion that this is going to be easy, but I can see that it's going to be fulfilling. And also we have so many women in the community that are like, I don't know if I should have kids. Like, should I have kids? Should I not? I'm like, unless you are absolutely dying to be a mom, please, for you, don't do it.
No, and like, just wait until you have that like feeling. Like, there's no, and like, this is where I'm like, I don't want people rushing, because this is where I was saying, like, get your eggs frozen. Do that kind of stuff. If you're not, like, you do have to be really ready. And I never really understood that with Matthew. He's always like, I'm not ready yet. And I'm like, what do you mean you're not ready? Well, it turns out now I know what he means. Like, that's a real thing. Turns out we had kids shortly after that. But, you know, here we are.
And now we have 2.
And then we had a 3rd and then a 4th. And, you know,
the 2 at once is really... I'm glad you had it the first time, because I cannot imagine, like, now if we had the next child, it being children. Like, I don't know if that's the only thing you knew. It's probably better that way.
I pray for anyone who has like any type of multiples after a single baby. Like, that would be absolute hell. And in the best way.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, don't come at me.
Come on here next year and being like, so
there's 2 in here. Listen, that shit happens, okay?
It happens.
It does. This is also one question, because honestly, if I were going on a podcast, I'd want them to ask me this. And so, are there any misconceptions about you that you want to clear up that have been, I don't know, you know?
No, it's a good question. It's a really good question. I think I'm lucky that for 10 years I have just had like verbal diarrhea of, you know, on 2 podcasts a week. I was able to dodge a lot of that. You know, sometimes things get taken out of context and it really like upsets me.
Yeah.
It can get to me. But the beauty of like never shutting up and not having the ability to just say whatever is on your mind, like, people have gotten the good, the bad, the ugly. Like even our listeners, they'll really get pissed at me. They'll be like, "You have no joy." Like, I'm sort of the one that I can't find joy in the holidays. Like I
You're
do
the
not
Grinch.
understand. I am the Grinch, the Grinchiest of Grinches. Like I don't understand. I don't want to create magic. I don't feel the magic. I think it's the worst time of the year.
Okay. Well, your dad's Jewish, right?
Yes, and that is a lot of it. It's like my mom, she'd put up the Christmas tree. She gets so manic. Like she just gets so manic. Like I'm like, we're going to go broke because you're buying like tchotchkes that we use for 10 days a year. Like what is this gnome? Like it's just crazy. And so I just would watch her.
Gnomes are great. Come on.
Gnomes are great, but I would watch her and be like, what is this woman doing? Like, this doesn't bring me joy. Like her screaming as she's wrapping the banister.
I am this person.
It's okay. I envy it. I truly, if I could like go to sleep tonight and make a prayer, like make a wish, maybe this is like a plot for a movie, but like, I want to wake up and love Christmas. I want to wake up and love Thanksgiving. I want to wake up and love any holiday. I want to love a birthday. I can't understand the birthday. And I married a man who could not be more obsessed with his birthday. This is my karmic journey. So, but that's the thing. Like some people will be like, are you depressed? Like, how could you be so cold? Those things. And it's like, no, I actually feel I have a lot of emotion. I just can't tap into it when it comes to the holidays.
I kind of love that. And I envy you for the fact that like the day after Christmas, I am spending 6 days taking everything down, cussing everyone out that's around me, hating everything and everyone, all the new presents I want to throw in the garbage. I'm like, fuck these toys. I hate them. Yeah. And I envy you because you're probably sitting there like drinking a coffee, hanging out. Putting your
I'm like,
I have a
away. Stocking to put away.
Yeah. Damn.
Christmas is packed up. We're good.
It literally takes me a week to take it down.
Yeah. My husband wishes that he had married somebody like that. I've stolen a little bit of joy from him, and that's just unfortunate, but I don't know how to change.
Well, he doesn't know it, but him not having to take down decorations is well worth it because my husband looks at me and is like, yeah, fuck this. I didn't do it. So good luck.
Take care of it yourself.
Great. Well, so enjoyed just connecting with you. I hate that we have to end it, but I know you have things to do and little kid or a little boy to get to. And also, make sure your dad gets home from Pilates okay. But we really appreciate having you on. And obviously, Lady World is happening, guys, September 25th through the 27th. Can you tell them exactly where to get those tickets and also where to find you and your podcast?
Yeah, so it's ladyworld.co, and the podcast is called Lady Gang, and I'm at Becca. But I don't post a lot there. And when I do, I'm bitching about motherhood.
Oh, yeah. Well, then our audience will love it. So they'll be there. Wait, your name is just at Becca?
Yeah.
Were you the first one on Instagram too? My God.
It's like kind of that sort of thing where it's kind of at the point where it was cool, like having a vanity plate in high school, but then now it's like aging me and making me a little weird,
People are like, wow, how old is this bitch? She's the first one on Instagram.
So I have mixed feelings about it, but I am who I am, and I am at Becca. I think I was, there was an at Becca when I got on Instagram, but I had this like social media girl that was like, hey, you want me to get you at Becca? I'm like, I guess. Like, I don't know. I don't even know what this platform is. And Becca, then I got it.
You can tell us that story all you want, but we do know that you were one of the first ones on there.
But I was.
Aging all of us. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, guys. Remember to rate 5 stars, like, subscribe to our YouTube, drop a comment. At the end of our episodes, we say have a splash. If you could follow it with make a splash to end it off.
Yep.
All right. Ready? Have a splash.
Make a splash.
Thank you, girl.